Hey, what's good? Welcome back to my channel. Just a couple of hours ago, the Korean officials had a mini stream where they were detailing some of the things that are coming next to the Korean version of Lost Ark. I'd like to inform you of these things because they make sense to us as well, since we're gonna get them at one point or another. There is at least a couple of pretty interesting things that I'm sure are gonna make some of the players in the West happy as well. First of all, a new continent translated as Voldis. This is the place of the sages. Voldis is going to be available at 1520 or above. 1520 just to complete the main story, similar to how South Verne right now requires 1370. The same thing here. Now, Voldis also brings an Abyss dungeon, translated as the Ivory Tower. This one is going to be available starting with item level 1600 for the normal mode and 1620 for the hard mode. Now, this is translated as an Abyss dungeon, even though it has 4 gates. They showed the first 3 gates, the first 3 bosses, and they left the last one, the 4th, as a surprise. Apparently, it's something to do with the lore of Lost Ark, and then they didn't really want to spoil it ahead of the patch. Then we have a new system to Lost Ark, translated as the elixir system. And I'm just gonna have to be honest, for the first time watching their live streams since 2018, I was left sort of confused as to how the system actually works. Generally speaking, this is another way of getting power at the cost of XYZ. In this case, gold, as far as I'm looking at it, a lot of it at that. It seems to be an RNG system of getting the correct stats, which you see on the right hand side, a combination of the correct stats with a specific probability of every time you press the roll button, which costs gold, quite a lot of it, you get a chance that one of your stats on the right is going to be increased. As far as I can tell, the chance of one of those stats being increased is determined by this particular number on the right hand side. So basically, it seems to be setting up the proper chance of rolling the correct chance into a chance. It seemed really RNG to me, and as a player who has been swimming up a river for the last year in our Western release, and I have to tell you that it was quite difficult at times to stay afloat and you know, just keep alive with the fast pace of our release. This just seemed like another here's another thing. This is sort of a combination of a bracelet and a soul stone. It's like cutting a soul stone, only it costs gold. You finish an elixir and then you throw it on a piece of armor, and then that armor gets these bonuses. It's like, you know, good bonuses, bad bonuses. You have to you know, mix and match. So and also I have this feeling that the materials needed to create these elixirs are going to be tradable on the auction house, which again opens up another door to whaling, which is obviously not something that's ideal. On the plus side of things, I don't think this is a system that's for players under 1600, so I don't think we can expect this elixir system anytime sooner than September 2023. So because of that, I guess we still have some time to sort of like finish up with everything else and then just jump right into this one, but I guess we're gonna see by the time it gets released for us in the West. Then I would also like to talk about something that's actually pretty interesting, which is the Legion raid uncap. After this change, you won't be locked into only 3 Legion raids per week on that character. Let's say you have a 1490 Bard, right? You have access to Valtan, Vikas, Cuckoo, and also Gate 1 and 2 of Belshazzar. You can do Gate 1 and 2 Belshazzar, earn the gold from there. You can do Cuckoo and Vikas and earn the gold from here. But you can also go to Valtan on your 1490 Bard without earning the gold rewards for it, and still maybe help out other players, guildies, or maybe just make some extra gold for yourself and bus that particular content as well. The whole idea of earning gold has been slightly restructured also, simply because they will have a new piece of content for endgame, which is this abyssal dungeon for 1610, 1620, and it also gives gold, right? Same as Oreja used to give for us when we were at that item level. Now you can choose to earn gold from this, plus 2 other Legion raids for that character, if you're at that item level, or you can still go with the traditional, or what we're doing in the West right now, which is 3 Legion raids for one character. That's our sources of gold. We do this because we don't have any other content that could potentially give us gold instead of one Legion raid, but once we do, we can opt to mix and match in between the Abyssal Dungeon and the Legion raids we have available. Number 5 thing I wanted to mention, and something that's most likely gonna make very many Western players happy, is the merge in between the Cube Dungeon and the Boss Rush. In the future, there's not going to be Cube tickets, Boss Rush tickets, but it's going to be one unified sort of cube-looking dungeon that's going to give us rewards from both the Cube and the Boss Rush together. So we're gonna have to do less things, I guess, on a weekly basis, but get sort of the same amount of rewards. At least that's what I understood from the stream. This is obviously good news. To be noted that unused Boss Rush and Cube tickets, the current ones that we are gathering up, will be able to be exchanged at an NPC for various goods. At least that's what they said on the Korean website. So if you really dislike the Cube dungeon and you just don't want to do it, even though it does bring some value even now, maybe it's worth keeping them and exchanging a whole stack of them for what possible goods they might offer. They didn't specifically say what goods we're going to get from exchanging these tickets, so that we in the West could potentially tell if it's worth keeping them or just making sure to use them until this change comes out for us in the West. But yeah, just worth a note. Lastly, a new Guardian raid is also coming to the Korean version. Item level 1610 or above. The frog that we've seen in the Loaon winter. That was everything for today's video. I thank you so much for watching me. If you're interested in trying some of these features or some of these places, these changes on the Korean server of Lost Ark, I do have a video on how to play Lost Ark in Korea, linked in the description below. Also, there's new classes there to try, upcoming classes for us like the Artist. You can just get yourself acquainted with the class, see if you like it before we're getting it in March ourselves. And you can find me here on YouTube in my next YouTube video or over on my live stream, twitch.tv/SaivoSan. I wish you all the best, a lovely week to you, and I'm gonna see you really soon. Bye bye.